I wanted to pick up the top two guys in the company, and I was like, what do you guys do in terms of recruiting points? The company's completely transparent, so it's not like people can hide behind title. You log on the Leaders Bulletin, you see where everybody's numbers are at, and as the company continues to mature, the transparency is becoming even more real time. So certain people, there's going to be a time where people submit an app, they build a team to get another recruit immediately within 10 seconds, 20 seconds. You'll be able to see the Leaders Bulletin update. That's gonna happen in the company here pretty soon. So if you are competing with somebody in the Leaders Bulletin, the thing I told MSM yesterday is that I want you to identify names. Shoot, you can put my name, a target on my back. I don't care. Number one's supposed to have a target on their back. I don't know any other game championship. I spent some time behind the stage, backstage with Kobe last night, just having an amazing conversation. And I said, Kobe, what made you ask Michael Jordan the first time you met him on the court? You asked him a question about his turnaround J, right? And Michael said, for me to feel out defense with his legs. So what got you even to ask that question? You're 18 years old. You know what I'm talking about? He was fresh out of high school in the NBA, playing against the GOAT, because he wants to be the GOAT at AEOs. And he said, listen, I went to the NBA Hall of Fame, or some communication studio in New Jersey, and said, even back then, he said, if you can pull me a player, every game they played, every touch they've had, can you give me those tapes? It wasn't this whole digital thing. He studied. So why am I saying all that? If you want to be a team that builds and recruits and develops a lot of people, you got to study your game. You got to be a master of the ins and outs of the blueprint. And because we are in people business, you have to study human nature too as well. I love studying personalities. What did Jordan Peterson say yesterday? We're wired to have a certain personality. For example, Patrick, I said, Patrick, if that's true, then does that mean we can change our personality if it's not wired to be where it's supposed to be? He says, well, look at you, man. You can't be serious for too long, can you? You're always right. You're serious, and next thing you know, 30 seconds later, you're cracking a joke. Yeah. That's your personality, right? But if you try to be something that you're not, that's called acting. So number one, understand your personality. Don't expect other people to have your personality. It's trying to change people. And if you're in a people changing business, you're gonna be definitely in the wrong business. You're gonna be beating your head on this wall and ask, well, how come people can't change? How come people listen? The way I look at it, God's been trying to change our mind. Yeah. And yet we don't listen. Look at Adam and Eve. You can have everything, just don't eat the one thing. Right? The whole garden. The heat, the sun had to listen to their body saying it's too hot, back off. The walk, animals had to listen. Lion comes around, snake comes around, bird comes around, listen, you listen to me. Get away. They had to listen, right? But they decided that one thing they couldn't. It's by the reason I'm sharing it is because it's human nature. So in other words, if you are in a high volume type of organization, to think that people are going to change just because they got in, and they don't see what you've seen here at Big Event yet, right? You are being too impatient with yourself. That's why I buy into high volume recruiting, because I need a lot of bodies. Unlike the draft, right? The NFL, how many rounds in the draft do they have? Yeah, but they work their entire life. These kids work their entire life to play football, so they know what they're getting themselves into. They get themselves in high school. They want to play in college. They work themselves up to perform at the combine, and then they say, "Hey, draft me. I'm draftable. You want to invest your millions in me?" But they've been working in their entire life. Not the same way here at PHP. People don't know they're in the military. When I'm coming into the military, I know what uniform I'm wearing and why I'm wearing it for the most part, right? So people don't necessarily know why they're coming to PHP. All they know is they're broke, they're hungry, they're desperate, they're wanting an opportunity, and you're giving it to them. Now, the question of whether or not they're going to do something about it, you got to put them through the system. And one thing Chris was telling me when he came out to your guys' office, there was breaking the floor and all that. He's like, "Oh, Bill, that's not the way you break the floor. Bill, that's not the way you do tweak things." But the cool thing about that, you guys are already getting. All it was just a bunch of little tweaks here, tweaks there. Look at the things that you guys have been doing. So I'd be thinking about why you want to build a high recruiting type business. So the question you ask is top 10 offices. You guys want to be a top 10 office? Recognized at the end of the year? Okay. So number 10 was Lodi, California, by Andrew Gaines.
Andrew Gaines.
He relocated from LA to Lodi, Northern California, less than a year ago, and already he was the top 10 office. So what did he do to get the top 10 office? He did no less, I think he shared it at the MD meeting, he did no less than 60, 80 recruits a month in a brand new territory. Brand new territory. So how do you guys put yourself on a map in the PHP context? High volume recruiting. Why? That means that this office is giving a greater opportunity. You're buying into the law of high numbers. You're buying into the law of averages. You just can't expect, even in the NFL, you draft seven guys to play. Do all seven, are they guaranteed to make the team?
No.
Look at the quarterbacks. I mean, I studied the draft history of quarterbacks. Do you know how many busts of quarterbacks who drafted in the first round that didn't make it? Not even in the second year, where they drafted in the first round. Because there's such a high volume or a high opportunity for people to not come through. So you try to change people. So the second thing about high volume recruiting is you give yourself an opportunity to find the next stud. How many guys want a stud? Right? Guys, listen, the guy that discarded me, where was I? Exactly. I was in a bathroom of a Best Buy. And I was, listen, back when I was what, 24 years old at the time, 23, 24, I was nobody special. By the way, I'm still nobody special. I'm just doing something with this thing, with this opportunity. But I was nobody. Like you would say, okay, the guy's meant for PHP. I was not that guy. Like this, I'm just going through my military service. It's my last year in the Marine Corps. I just went through a divorce. I got custody of my kids. I'm trying the best I can with what I have when I have them on the weekends. And my life was shit. But someone gave me an opportunity to come in. Thank God for that office in Southern California to give me an opportunity. So if you buy into high volume recruiting, you deserve an opportunity to get a stud in your office. Why is a stud in your office? Because it raises everybody's game. It raises everybody's game, right? How many guys were at the PC meeting? Ooh, that's pretty intense, huh? Was that some intense conversation? Everybody go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, listen, at the end of the day, we're all competitors. You know, instead of using our bodies, we use our minds instead in business. I asked Kobe about backstage. Kobe, how do you know who to do business with now that you're now? Because you can't size people up. You know, it's different in the business world. Everybody's not 6 foot tall. Everybody doesn't know how to dribble a basketball. Right? How do you figure? Because listen, dude, I can smell it. What can you smell? I can smell if they want it. I can smell it if they want to kill it. Right? So Kobe, is that developed? I think it's developed. So when I came in the league, I just didn't want to win championships. I wanted to win multiple championships. Who was Kobe hanging around with as a teenager? The Philadelphia 76ers. He was back looking at these guys. That's why he wasn't enamored with Black Jesus. Remember what he said last night? He was enamored with Jesus. He's just a guy. His name is Mike. Listen, take down my numbers. I'm Matt. Forget board council, forget millionaire. I'm just a guy. And just because I'm just a guy that happens to be at the top of these bulletin doesn't mean I'm automatically going to stay there. I gotta want to stay there. I gotta want to be able to compete. You gotta ask yourself, coming out of this thing, why would I buy into high volume recruiting? Ask myself, what do I want to do? What does this office want to do? What do I want to do? Imagine you guys breaking the floor. Oh, right? Is it in Annapolis?
Yes.
Is it Annapolis? Okay. Welcome to Annapolis. My name is Matt Paul, and you're in the top 10 office of PHP agency. Aren't you glad you didn't get invited to number 34?
When you were talking to Kobe, please tell me you had your J's on.
Of course. Of course. But it still dark backstage.
Bill, light on the bottom.
Yeah. Bill, what was the other thing you want me to talk about? So high volume recruiting.
Yeah, and what coming out of this? What's the mindset? Next
Yeah,
steps?
so coming out, I hope you guys already, from last night's homework, you guys have an outcome, right? You know, listen, we want to be a team of the decade, which means we got that. definitely lock up MVP. Otherwise, it's compromised. Otherwise, another team's gonna be another team that make it. The Woodley team has known not only to change the game, but took this company to the next era. We're considering ourselves the mighty three. That's we're building 3 board councils, 300 chairman's councils, and 300,000 licensed agents. So in other words, I want you guys to start having this language amongst yourself in the office. Hey, do the top 10 office in the next 6 months. Top 10 office in the next 6 months. What do you want to do? You can be an MD, you can be an SVP. Come on. We need an SVP in our city. Before, check this out. If you guys don't get to SVP as an organization, at the volume of which PHP is growing, you don't think we're going to recruit somebody on Valuetainment? We're going to recruit somebody on social media and build them to become the next SVP of your neighborhood? I mean, you don't want to say, okay, we're the first to have an office in Maryland, but somebody else was the first to SVP. Because in this business, what do we find out? You can get lapped. Just because you're the only office in Maryland doesn't mean that you're going to be the only office in the next 6 months. Guys, people are reaching out to me all the time from the DMV. As a matter of fact, there's 2 guys out here from the DMV right now looking to work together with us. Yeah. So here's the thing. I would love to give you the number if I see you guys at high volume recruits that we can build them. So from a builder's mind, here's what we say. Okay, in the city and state, what are the numbers? Can I find them on the leads bulletin? If your numbers aren't high in the leads bulletin consistently, builders and companies don't have confidence to send them to your office. Now, you got one of my guys, Harvey.
Yeah.
We have confidence build. Why? To build a relationship with Bill. We got to build a relationship with this couple right here, right? It's an awesome relationship. Went out to the Army Navy game.
Yes.
You didn't have to do that, bro. Give me some tickets. You got some tickets? Oh, yeah, I got some tickets. I've never been to an Army Navy game. Amazing experience. We're going to it again this year. Maybe do something like around that. We do a contest around that. We can hang out at the Army Navy.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Good morning. All entrepreneurs here.
Yes.
Everybody, business people,
Yes.
good people, the best people in Earth. You were pick it up for everywhere in Earth to do good things, right? To help Earth, to help people, to say the word, right? You feel that way?
Absolutely.
We're gonna make a change today. Today is the day the Lord has made for all of us. We're gonna leave it. I wanna talk to you. I need to make a meeting. I need to talk to you on the green team. I got some out of space.
They asked me to come into this their time right now.
It's okay,
And to by the way, God bless you too as well. Good
God bless.
morning.
get their numbers.
Huh?
Get their
Okay,
names.
miss, we're having a conversation right now and you're interrupting. It's very
I know you're the boss.
I know, yeah.
I gotta be blessed for you, brother.
Good. So
Okay, I
they
love
asked
you
me here
people.
and they deserve my time. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Moving right along. I love you entrepreneurs. So anyway, I want to ask you guys a question. I want to ask you guys a question. Who's going to compete to be the first MD? I'm sorry, there's already an MD. You got Saeed, right? Who's the, so you don't have an SMD?
No SMD?
No SMD? So I'm.
That's because the rest of SOS didn't do their part.
Huh?
Because the rest of SOS did not do their part to get them there.
Okay, but is everybody here from the East Coast?
Yes.
Okay. So you have to think about this, as I was saying before, there's a lot of people that want to go into the DMV. Why? Look at Amazon. Amazon's building over there. So many jobs are going. Listen, there's New York, there's San Francisco, big cities, right? Billionaires live there. You know the city they never talk about with a lot of billionaires? It's DC.
DC.
Look at real estate in DC. Look at all that wealth that's there. You know, nobody talks about it. It comes from the government. It comes from our taxes. It doesn't come from Wall Street. It doesn't come from investors. Silicon Valley. It comes from our taxes. So, good move. Yeah, so when you're put in a position of saying, okay, do I want somebody to come to my territory? Or am I going to build? Otherwise, you're allowing somebody to come into your territory. So what we decided to do in Chicago, Chicago's brand new 2015, we said we want to build so massive and huge and successful that there'd be a fool to think that you can come into Chicago and try to build remote. You need to be, say, you know what? I'm going to build it with MSM in Chicago. Why? Because they know how to do it. So the question here is any directors here doing 50 or more in a month in base shop directors? That'd be something I'd be thinking about coming out of here. How do I get through it? Think about this. The numbers are easy. Find 10 of your guys that want to do 5 coming out of here. What's that? 50.
50.
Or what we just hear last night. That's right, 15, 15, 15. That'd be an explosion. So who's going to be the first director this month?
Right here, right here.
We'll see. So what I'd say, you guys go back and say, you know what? Bill, when we get to director, I want this. They're not contest on it. Would you do this for me? Tell them what drives you. Is it money? Is it experiences? Is it recognition? Whatever you want, let them know. Communicate. Say, man, I want this. We get to director, I want this. Hey, Bill, if 3 of us get to director, if 5 of us get to director, if 10 of us get to director, we want this. We get a contest around our guys. We do this. We get the board council, the flag carriers of a BC run, and one in their base shop. What do you guys want to do when we arrive? Vegas. Want to take Uber, or do you want to take some McDonald's?
That was sick. That was sick.
And what did we do on Sunday? Took out a bunch of Lambos, a bunch of Ferraris. These guys had a blast. Man, this pays off, man. Oh, they know it pays off because they never drove Lambo before. They just saw a Lamborghini on Instagram. They see me driving that. You know what's going on in their mind? I want to own one. Just because. And when I buy one, it's less than 10%, 5% of my savings. That's their mindset. So you gotta figure out, so let me ask you guys that question. What do you guys wanna do coming out of here?
Marketing director.
I'm gonna put marketing director in September.
So think about this real quick. What's the numbers for MD?
50, 100.
Yeah, so if you guys do the math, right? I gotta ask myself, let me break down the math. So if I need 50, right? I need a couple of my guys, 3 of my guys. So a couple of my guys can go head and shoulders and above. Second tier, so I like tiers. First tier, these guys can go head and shoulders above everybody. Second tier, who can do 5 or 10? Third tier, who can get 3 to 5 directs? Who's gonna get promoted from trainer associate to associate? So I ask my guys, trainees, stand up, 10 guys stand up. What are you guys still training for? Get from training to associate means that you're just trying. So it's no big deal to get from training to associate. Okay, so what are you gonna do this week when you get promoted to associate? So you break down that number. And in the back of your mind as a builder, like, okay, I need to take these guys out in the field to teach them the business to write apps. You know what John Mason did with his guys this last 7 days? He needed 250,000 points to get to SVP in red convention. You know what happened in the last 3 days? Yesterday, where are we? Here.
We saw him putting in the apps.
He wrote 100,000 points yesterday. Now, here's the fun part. In my mind, he wrote 100,000 apps and 100,000 points. In the process of them being promoted, they make so much money. Make so much money. I mean, guys, I want you guys to know, in this environment, we're sitting down with Diana Julius. She's one of the lower income earning VPs. Man, what'd you make this much? She was 36. I only make 36,000. She feel like shit. Right? I'm looking at guys, what'd you make? 140. What'd you make? 132. Beat me by 12,000. You know what I'm talking about? Like this environment where it's not necessarily about the money anymore. It becomes just a score. Like I want you guys to know that you're in a business where you're going to surpass just surviving. Matter of fact, write down in your notes, how much money do I need to survive? 3,000 a month? 2,000 a month? 5,000 a month? You guys DMV, right? 10,000 a month? I mean, think about how expensive your area is. So if you already know how expensive your area is, it's that much more easier to recruit people in your area. You guys are taking notes, write this website down. EPI.org, Economic Policy Institute.org. Okay? EPI.org. The Economic Policy Institute's website is funded by the government, and it's a nonprofit organization. that is funded to create policies for the multicultural and for the middle class. Okay? So on that website, you go to resources and the family budget calculator. So a tool that you guys can use coming out of here to recruit more people into your pay shop is using this third-party source. So hey man, in this area with 2 kids, husband and wife living in the house, you need to make whatever. In Chicago, if you have two adults, 2 kids in the house, you make $86,000 a year just to survive. In our San Mateo office in Northern California, you need $129 just to survive. Matter of fact, $117,000 a year in my San Mateo location, the Bay Area, that's considered low income. You qualify for a WIC. You qualify for Section 8. You qualify for government assistance. $117,000 a year. And then that's, by the way, your area is getting to that point. You know why? Because so many people are coming in to your neck of the woods. And so when you're looking at your outcomes coming through here, you better have clear outcomes. Otherwise, this is just a fun time in Vegas. I want you to be held accountable to the time and the money that you invested to come to Vegas. Away from your family, away from people you love and care about. You have to have something to show for. So in the next 30 days, what will you show for out of your outcome there? Is it a new promotion? Is it an income level? Is you building somebody else, or all three? You got to have a certain outcome, tangible part of the business. Because I don't want you to look at the end of August saying, oh my gosh, okay, I'll try again in September. No, the person that gets ahead is the person that comes in here and immediately implements as soon as they get back. Matter of fact, I'll be making calls right now to make sure you'll be on this on Saturday. If you haven't done that already. Our conversation with our guys is, listen, when we come back on Saturday, schedule your phone zones. So therefore, when you get back, all you're doing is just confirming people could show up on Saturday. It's not a new phone zone. So while you're here, Patrick's gonna have an announcement. Okay, Patrick's gonna have an announcement. You should be texting guys, did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? Of course not. What do I mean, what did I hear? Dude, Kobe Bryant rocked our stage. What? Dude, President Bush rocked our stage. What? You guys know that we cannot record the talk for President Bush. Okay? By the way, it's obvious he's coming here this morning. Okay? It's just only a morning left. But that video will be recorded and archived in the Library of Congress. Anytime a president speaks, it's recorded and archived. Do you realize it's the first time in the history of the insurance industry that a foreign president speaks at an insurance company, and that company name will be at the Library of Congress? Plus, did you hear we made history? And we're looking to aggressively expand in the DMV. And the first person I decided to think about and call was you. Are you down for doing something else? Or are you completely locked into what you're doing? Are you down to make an extra money on the side? Are you down to making the same amount of money part-time that you do full-time? Because that's what this option. Matter of fact, here's a picture with a millionaire. He's a Marine with no college degree making 7 figures. And there's going to be more of them. The question is going to be, I'm looking, well, is it going to be you? 100%. If your vision is that's what you're thinking. By the way, making $1 million, it's not a big deal, guys. People think it's $1 million, it's not a big deal. I'm the brokest of all the millionaires. Think about it. I have new friends now. They're called millionaire. Here's who pays every time we hang out. Me. Right? Dude, what you pulling this month? 300,000. What you pulling this month? 500,000. What you pulling this month? 122. Oh, that's okay. Okay, you're buying. I mean, that's the type of people that you guys could be associated with. You get $100,000 a year is minimum wage. When the guys get a ring, hey Bill, how's it feel to make minimum wage? We give him a hard time. like you're bro.
That's why that vein's always throbbing right there. Thanks, Matt. Thanks.
Your year was our last month. How does it make you feel? Are you working hard?
Thanks.
Right? By the way, that's why I always push you. Because you know, these guys could be the rock stars of the East Coast. It's just a matter of time for them to put in the board with you, preferably with you.
I just need money smart J's on the feet.
No problem. Well, what you get? Want to run a contest around that?
Oh, that would be sick. That would be sick.
Okay, so whatever contest you guys want to run, I'll throw in some custom J's.
You the man.
Okay? I'll put the MySmart logo.
Do I
I'll put in
qualify
your
on
team, your team logo.
Oh, sweet. Both
Yeah,
logos?
I'll put both of them. One shoe's gonna have the MySmart logo, the other shoe's gonna have your logo.
That's gonna be sick.
Okay, we're running a contest right in your size. You want to do it? I'll throw it in
Yeah,
there.
that'd be awesome. Thanks, brother. Damn. You guys heard that here first.
So,
You guys-
so whatever contest you put together, Bill, hey, Bill, we're gonna do this, Bill. Oh, on top of that, that's throwing some custom things. I got you.
It's gonna be big, guys.
Damn.
It ain't gonna be small.
But anyway, this business, help people, make money, at the end of the day, have fun. Have fun. It's a fun business. It's an easy business. So walking out, we brought a new guy there in San Jose, Hayward, California. Those 3 sportsmen. Guy looks like a freaking lineman, right? So I said, what do you do in business? You're a successful sports bar owner. You have 3 sports bars. Why are you here? So, well, I want to expand my business. I want to expand my income. So why don't you just open up another sports bar? Yeah, but I don't want the headache. So tell me about the headache. Well, I got more staff. I got to hire another manager. And nobody cares more about my restaurant than me. I always got to worry about people stealing from me. Right? So in other words, for most typical businesses, they have to increase their overhead before they increase their revenue. Okay? What's our business? We increase our revenue long before we have to increase our overhead. I said, bro, I got an office in Northern California. I have 4 offices in Northern California, 1 office in San Diego. I got 4 offices in Memphis, 1 office in Atlanta, 2 in Jacksonville, 2 in Orlando, 1 in Miami, 1 in Fort Myers, 1 in San Antonio, 14 in Chicago. I only pay rent for 1 office. So this income that we're generating, by the way, 90% of our income is override. Listen, this is one of Sheena's worst, I'm being transparent, this is one of Sheena's worst personal producing 6 months. I think she's only written like 50,000 plus. So another 90 to 95% of our income comes from building other people and building new locations. It's passive. Sure, we earn it. It's just not we do nothing, it just comes. We earn it, we build a relationship with a team, we build leadership, different citizens things. The question for you guys is, how can I increase my capacity and identity coming out of the big event? That's what big event's supposed to do for me. 20 years ago I came to Vegas. Matter of fact, I went to the MGM Grand, a company called WMG today. I was 24 years old. What the heck is this big event for? Coming to the arena, MGM Grand Arena, which we're going to be at next year. It's gonna be a big full circle for me. I've never come to Vegas to gamble. Like last night, I was having a drink with some of my guys. We're going over homework from Patrick yesterday. I was just looking over to my left to see who's gambling at the table. And not that I'm judging them, but also taking notes of what to expect from them because they're gambling. So instead of doing their homework, some guys are gambling. You know what I say to myself? I got you. I got an edge on you. Because instead of implementing the thing that Patrick asked you to do last night in terms of playing my next step, you're out there throwing dice. I got you. On the private jet tour, I was paying attention to my fellow VPs. You know, we were kind of taxed physically, but I never fell asleep once on the private jet. I'm gonna kick back and fall asleep. You know why? It's game time for me. The moment I saw some of the VPs or some of the peers, if they even were thinking about sleeping, I'd wake them up, dude, we got Patrick's right here. I'm gonna ask you more questions. Hey, like, we got him forever. So those are small little tweaks that I'm doing. You gotta ask your guys here, how did you guys make, was it 42,000 in a month?
47.
Yeah, Bill, how can I make 50 grand a month myself? I get Danny Stinson, he came on board in 60 days, made $124,000.
Good God.
65 days with us. You get the record, when you go down to the records, it's his face, top right. Biggest case ever written with PHP, fastest to 100,000 income, fastest. By the way, some of you guys are going to recruit somebody that's going to break that record. You guys believe it?
Yes.
It's going to happen. I mean, this whole thing about entrepreneurship is fascinating to me. The life that you can only see in magazines and read about and see on TV shows, it could be your life. The question for you is, do you think you deserve it? Well, Matthew, money's not everything. I get it. Money's not everything. Let me ask yourself this question. The last 100 decisions you've had to make, how many of them have been tied to money?
Wow.
So for me, I've always said, if I gotta come to a decision, and I remove money as a variable to make a decision to process it, what's the true character of the decision? Was it money motivated or money inspired? It's wrong, because I'm not actually making a decision based on the true character of the decision. Like for Jojo, his healthcare, ADD drugs or alternative healthcare, non-invasive. Right? And she had a decision. How much does it cost? Matter of fact, she didn't tell the whole story. How much does it cost? $6,000. Insurance doesn't cover it. You know what she says then?
Great.
My wife's a boss. She goes, awesome. So if I pay in cash right now, what's my discount? That's actually what she would say. If I pay you in cash right now, what's my discount? You know, the insurance company, I'm paying in cash right now for 60 sessions. Says, well, we'll take 20% off. Awesome. So we save money by paying cash. What I want you guys to visualize is this: at the end of the year, you guys go down to the bank. Says, yeah, I want $10,000 from my account, cash. What? I want 10. By the way, everybody to my left and to right is overhearing this conversation in the bank. Because you're gonna close the tellers right now. Like how many times have you been to a bank? Says, yeah, can you refund the overdraft charges? Overdraft, right? It was this guy. Ma'am, excuse me, can you give me 10,000 cash in my limit for my savings account? I'm sorry, for my checking account. Your what? My checking account, 10,000. I want stacks, 10 stacks. It'll take us a minute. I'm willing to wait. You do a video. Okay. It's money, it's my money. It's my money, it's your money. It smells like my money. Okay, put it back. What? You know how they work? I just want to see if it was real. Put it back. I don't need it. Imagine like being that way in December. Guys, you focused enough between now and the end of the year? You focus between now and the end of the month to get your director promotion? Every day is going to be Black Friday. Every day there's a discount. Every day there's a deal that's entering. Question?
Now, one of the things they asked us then, after the meeting is, what do you need to do to get to that next level? And I know there was one or two of us that said, and I said, I overthink it. I know I can do it,
True.
but I overthink it.
Yeah.
What can I do to stop it from happening?
Yeah, so if you know that you're overthinking something, so you know what, this is where I just need to make a phone call. I'll give you an example. Last year, under Kevin Hart, Patrick took us backstage. I was the only VP to get a video of Kevin Hart. So I stepped in. It's Kevin Hart. Everybody said, oh, it's Kevin Hart. I'm like, it's Kevin Hart. He's just a guy. Right? And I want to know his story. I respect him, but I'm not in